All right, everybody, hello and welcome back to another video here with Wholeo Awakening and Thunder Dragon Neigong. It's Josh here with you again today to talk about one of the most important concepts and topics that we have in all of our practice here, everything that we do, and that is Qigong. Now, Qigong has gained a lot of notoriety in recent years as more and more scientific studies have been done on it in various forms, looking to determine the nature and validity of the various benefits that have been attributed to it. And as such, a lot of people have increasingly become more aware of it. They've heard of it or even perhaps seen it. But even still, a lot of mystery remains about it as to the exact details of what it is, what its purposes are, uh, really the nature and the mechanisms of the benefits that come from it, and especially the finer details of the different styles and traditions and uh, schools of thought surrounding Qigong. And so those are some of the things we're going to be getting into today. We're going to be giving just a brief introduction to what it is, the different schools, different practices, different purposes to these methodologies. But as always, before we get into things here, make sure that you check out all the links below. Like, subscribe, follow, whatever the applicable action is, depending on where you're watching this. So you'll be notified for other educational, informational videos, trainings, classes, and all that good stuff. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into it. Introduction to Qigong, the ancient art of energy cultivation. And energy cultivation really is what we're talking about when we're talking about Qigong. Let's first look at the word here. Qigong means the skillful cultivation of life energy. And now this is one thing particularly is uh, someone who is non-native Chinese or Japanese speaker, people who are not used to the Asian languages need to understand is that one word, one character can mean can equivalent be the equivalent of a full paragraph or more in English. So these characters carry a lot of meaning, a lot of subtle nuance, and Qigong is one of those umbrella terms that actually covers a lot of different practices underneath this general term Qigong. But just the words themselves, the characters themselves in this word, Qi in this sense means life force or vital breath. Now, not always. There are many uh, Chinese and Japanese, these various Asian languages have an insane amount of homophones, words that sound the same when spoken but have totally different meanings and different writings in their characters. So qi has many, many, many different meanings. But in this sense, we're talking about life force, vital breath, what we might refer to in modern scientific terms as the bioelectrical current in the body. That's part of it. The blood, the flow of blood, the circulation in the body is another part of it. Just the general, um, the thoughts, the essence, the vital power, the willpower, all these things are all part of this idea of qi. It's this animating force. It's what keeps you alive in this sense. Now, gong means skill, cultivation, or effort. Anything with a gong is something that you have to work and develop, a skill that you're developing. This is the same word that's spelled kung or kung with a K, kung fu, as we think of as, well, a particular type of martial arts. Kung fu really just means any martial arts, uh, but it means not just that, but it means time and effort. Kung fu means time and effort that you are put into developing something. So if we're working on playing a musical instrument, that is kung fu. If we're working on becoming a doctor, that is kung fu, the study that we put into it. Kung fu in martial arts training, where the term is most popular. But qi, life force, vital breath, gong, cultivation and effort that we put into refining a skill. So qigong means the cultivation of life energy. Everyone has qi. Everyone has a life force. If you're alive, you have energy moving through you. You have qi moving through you. Um, to not have qi means you're dead. And now, there are different qualities of that qi that you can have, which will affect the health of your body, the vitality of your body. Now, how alive are you? You can be technically alive, but practically dead, as a lot of people are. They're so unhealthy that they might as well not be alive. So the purpose of Qigong as a broad umbrella study or practice is the development and the cultivation of this Qi, this life energy, to promote and facilitate health and well-being in every aspect of our lives. And so it can be applied to many different areas in life. There are four main branches of Qigong that have developed. Over the centuries, Qigong has evolved into various forms depending on its purpose. Each one of these has a different aim, a different goal, a different end that they're trying to reach. Now, they all overlap. Very rarely will you see anyone who can be saying that they're truly practicing just one. You might have a focus leaning more toward a particular system of Qigong, a particular path, but they all intertwine and overlap, and you can't really truly practice one without also practicing the others to some extent. These are medical Qigong, which is used obviously for healing, for wellness. This is probably the most popular around the world, the most well-known and well-used and well-studied. Then there's martial Qigong, used in martial arts for combat, for developing strength and power. There's spiritual Qigong, used for inner transformation. And there's Confucian or scholar Qigong, which is really more of a philosophical approach used to develop ethical and mental clarity. So we're going to take a few minutes to look at these in some more detail here. Medical Qigong. Again, this is the most well-known, widely practiced form of Qigong. It is a therapeutic branch rooted in traditional Chinese medicine. It promotes healing, organ regulation, and energy balance. So this is the type of Qigong at its most base and simplistic level that we see most often when we're reading an article about Qigong or a study about Qigong, or we're just seeing people practice it. This is most of the time what they're doing. This is the thing you might see people doing in the park, where they're doing these gentle, slow flowing movements, stretching and flexing the joints, the tendons, the fascia, opening and closing the tissues of the body to promote circulation of the blood, of the lymph, proper flow of the nervous system, uh, relaxing the breath, practicing on deep, slow breathing, clearing the mind, releasing tension out of the body. This is the type of Qigong that has been so well studied for its health benefits, for nervous system and brain health, for sleep, for cardiovascular health, lung health, um, digestive health. All these different uh, systems of the body can benefit so greatly just from these relaxing, slow movements and a focus on harmonizing the body and the breath. So as the most common form of Qigong, this is the one people are most familiar with, but what we see here is purely the base level of it. Just the act of learning to breathe deeply, move your body in this opening, closing, pulsing, stretching, flexing manner has so many profound benefits for the body, but it is just the absolute bare minimum base level. You can go further in medical Qigong, where we get into actual self-healing and clinical use, where you start to actually work with the acupuncture points, the meridian channels, specific organ systems, rather than just relaxing generalized movements. We start to actually pinpoint specific movements, specific physical functions of the body, specific breathing patterns. Different breath patterns can create different responses in the body. We start getting these specific patterns dialed in to specific organ systems that may need assistance or may need a boost in energy or a balance. And we can start using this in clinical settings. This is what doctors of Chinese medicine, practitioners in those types of fields would do for their clients and patients. Used in this way, it can help to balance organs, meridians, and it can be used to treat various chronic conditions of health and just promote and facilitate general health and well-being in the body. So this is medical Qigong. Then there's martial Qigong, which is used to build internal power and to protect the body. It's an essential component of internal martial arts like Tai Chi Chuan or Tai Chi and Xing Yi Chuan. These, in this sense, in martial Qigong, we are developing this harmonized flow of energy through the body, just like medical Qigong, but now we're not just using it to nourish the organ systems, nourish the tissues in the body. We're actually using it to focus into various parts of the body to harden and strengthen those areas to be able to fight, to be able to use in combat scenarios. This develops what's called Neiging, or internal strength, the strength inside, to be able to project this power out into a target. Now, this same principle is also used in medical Qigong. As I said, you can't really practice one purely without practicing the others as well. And that would be in the sense of healing modalities, such Chinese massage or acupressure, where you're actually taking your hands, focusing this qi, focusing this energy in different ways, in different qualities through your hands to be able to facilitate the health and well-being of your patient or client. In the same way, in martial Qigong, we're using it in a destructive way to strengthen and fortify the body for impact. It enhances resilience and explosive force and used in combat arts. Beyond that, there's spiritual Qigong. Spiritual Qigong is the most difficult, complex of the Qigongs. This form focuses on refining the spirit and aligning with the Tao, which is the way, the path. Tao really, to put it in simplest terms, is really just it's the ancient science and philosophy of observing nature, observing natural law, natural order, and seeing how things flow in harmony with each other in order to use and manipulate those flows to get the best outcome, the best balanced state in our bodies, in our surroundings, our relationships, society, anything around us. And so what we're looking at here in spiritual Qigong is aligning our path with this path of natural flow, natural order. And this gets us into Taoist internal alchemy, Neigong. Now, alchemy, we'll get a whole other video talking about that. What is alchemy? That's a huge topic in and of itself. But really, it's the art of transforming and refining the energies, the tissues, the fluids of the body. So different schools and systems have different methods. Many use visualization, many do not. But stillness, meditation, breath work, specific physical exercises, both external and internal, or exercises for the subtle tissues of the body, the tendons, the ligaments, the fascial system. All of this is involved in specific practices that help to actually restructure, reshape, and refine these tissues and fluids to a higher quality, which promotes better health, more vitality, better longevity, more physical prowess and abilities. All of these things that we've talked about in the health, the medical Qigong, and the martial Qigong, taken to a whole other plane, a whole other level in spiritual Qigong. And not only that, but obviously our spiritual psycho-emotional growth as well. It awakens the Shin, what we call the spirit. This is the most complex, as I said, because you're really getting into the most subtle, absolute mastery and control of all of your physiological and psycho-emotional processes. Then there's Scholar or Confucian Qigong. This system of Qigong really focuses more on philosophical and ethical considerations. It's an approach to Qigong that emphasizes moral development, mental clarity, and social harmony. So this is really the path of a philosopher. Uh, it's using the principles of Qigong to refine the character, to maintain personal and societal well-being, and to foster peaceful conduct. This is where we get a lot of the morals and ethics that tend to be associated with uh, these Eastern practices. And also in the West, many of them are very similar to the morals and ethics that we would talk about in Christianity or Judaism practices in the West. So Scholar Qigong is more of a mental philosophical approach to just being a better person and building a better society. Um, but even so, these morals and ethics overlap and go into the other practices that we've talked about. I mean, many of us are familiar with martial arts systems where we train to be a peaceful and just warrior, someone who uses their strength to promote peace and justice and well-being in society. This is a blend of martial and scholar Qigong. Um, so these are the four basic branches, four basic avenues that can be taken in Qigong practice. Now, for an historical overview, Qigong's roots are ancient, really extending beyond any records that we have. They stretch back over 4,000 years. Um, it evolved through a blend over millennia of shamanic practices, Taoist philosophy, Buddhist meditations, Chinese medicine, all these things coming together to form this complete system, as I said, that really promotes the vitality and the well-being of the entire human experience. Every part of what it means to be a person is affected and strengthened and promoted by the practice of Qigong in one way or another. Um, as I said, the earliest practices of this came from early shamanic breath and movement, where the early people started to realize the connection of the breath and the body, the connection and the uh, ways to harmonize and correlate what is happening in nature around us with what is happening within our bodies. And you'll see this in many of the metaphors and the diagrams that were done in ancient times. We see the body represented in nature, and nature represented in the body. They realize that we are a part of nature, nature is a part of us. We cannot separate ourselves from that as living beings. And the more that we are observant of nature and the natural, healthy flow of nature, the Tao, we are, and the more we are in harmony with that in our own lives, in our own bodies, the healthier and the better our lives will be. Then we have famous texts such as the Tao Te Ching, the Old Emperor's Classic, uh, talking about the various aspects of the philosophical, the medical, and health approaches. Um, Taoist alchemy, as I said, some of the most refined and specific techniques. Buddhist Qigong, and then the modern revival that we have today, where primarily people are just doing it as a way to relax, relieve stress, and improve basic health. Now, as we've been talking about these different forms, different styles, different systems, different goals for practice is what we're really doing. We have different goals of practice in different contexts. Today, Qigong is practiced in many contexts, each with different intentions. Now, none of them are necessarily right or wrong, above or below the others. It's really a matter of what you, the practitioner, want to gain out of your practice. Why are you doing it? Why are you practicing? Uh, Choosing the right path, and with that, the right techniques, the right practices that go with that path, that foster and support that path, um, will help you in your path toward that goal. So Today we see Qigong practiced at home just for daily health. It's a get up in the morning, do a little Qigong for energization, revitalization, get yourself ready for the day. Come home at night, do a little relaxing meditative Qigong to calm down, to go to sleep. Simple daily practice. That's all there is to it. No, it doesn't have to be complex. We can get more detailed, more complex, and you can use it clinically for therapy, for rehabilitation. A lot of the teaching that I do is geared toward uh, working with seniors and convalescent centers, things like that, or athletes or people who've had injuries and need rehabilitative exercises, helping to restore and improve functions of the body and the organ systems. We can get more detailed, more specific, and we can use it for those purposes. Martial arts schools, using it for power, for structure, for the ability to project the vitality from the body to defend and to attack. In monasteries, monks can uh, follow the spiritual path, cultivate the spirit, cultivate their religious philosophical principles there, cultivate the alchemical processes in the body, and just in general community parks where we famously see people out practicing Tai Chi together, just for group wellness. There are all these different paths, different ways you can use Qigong. It can be as complex or as simple as you want. It all just depends on what your goals are, why you want to practice. What do you hope to get out of it? The benefits of Qigong, as I said, extend to every aspect of what it means to be a human. Qigong supports the whole human being, physically, energetically, emotionally, and spiritually. Physically, it strengthens the body, improves circulation, improves breathing, digestion, nervous system. Every system of the body can be drastically improved and supported through Qigong practice, even at the simplest level. Energetically, it can open the meridians, build vitality, improve the flow and the control of different fluids and energies through the body, control the subtle tissues, the fascial networks. Emotional and mental health, it can reduce stress, promote clarity of mind, and spiritually, it can deepen inner stillness and alignment with the Tao. So this is a brief introduction to Qigong, what it is, how it's practiced, what are some of the things that you can expect from it when following these different paths of practice. Now, of course, as always, check out the links below for our website, other educational materials that we have. Check out updates for classes, courses, consultations, and all of the informational videos that we put out. And we'll see you again next time for another video where we'll be discussing one of these topics and shedding a little light on some of the mystery that comes with these foreign to our culture thoughts, these systems and practices that have become so much more well known scientifically these days, but still people aren't quite sure what it is. So we want to make it accessible to everybody, really help you have a more well-rounded understanding of it, that's so that you'll be able to decide what path you want to take. So thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time. Take care.